Okay, so we are going to have a look at CSS Grid um, and Tailwind, of course, to work on Direct Diary. Um, this new domains, um, I don't know what you call them, all the items, all the new domains, the card components. As you can see, they're all displayed top to bottom, but we want to display them nicely in a grid. So CSS Grid to the rescue. The Tailwind docs, as great as they are, they're not there to teach you what grid is. So let's have a look. CSS Grid. CSS Tricks is a good resource. W3 Schools. I love to go to the Mozilla docs just because, I don't know, I like them. That's all. That's good enough for me. Basic example. All right. CSS Grid Layout. CSS Grid Layout excels at dividing a page into major regions or defining the relationship in terms of size, position. Is my head going too high? Nope. Um, and layer between parts of a control. It's all that's all well and good, but the problem with docs is how do you picture all that in your head? Like tables, grid layout enables all an author to yeah. I already know it's like a table. So I'm not bashing the docs. I'm just saying this is why I'm scrolling past them so quickly. Basic example. The example below shows a 3-column track grid with new rows created in a minimum of 100 pixels and at a maximum of auto. So what does that mean? Uh, a 3-column track grid, new rows created. I wish I could just do this and like images pop up for you, but you'll have to use your own mind's eye. Items have been placed onto the grid using line-based placement. I'm just picturing cells in a spreadsheet. So, and what did it say about 3 though? 3-column track grid. So it's going to be 3 columns. 3 columns, meaning out of 6, that'll just be 2. I don't know what the heck that means. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot to try to picture. Yeah, I think maybe I need to step back to something like this. As I said, what is it? The other guys are my go-to MDN docs, but I think in this case we'll go to the pros. Introduction to CSS Grid. CSS Grid layout, aka grid. Yep, 2-dimensional grid-based layout system. That's easier to picture compared to any web layout system of the past. First, we used tables. I was there. It's horrible. I still have nightmares of TRs and TDs and THs, and you just had to use so many of them to position absolutely everything. Then we went to floats. Yep, lots of clears, lots of frustration. The inline block, that was fancy. And yes, they were just hacks. Flexbox was great. Yeah. It's different use case than grid. If you want a grid, we have grids now, so it's that simple. As of March 2017, we're good. We're at 223 right now. Crazy, no? That's from what I'm listening to. C'est bon. To get started, you have to define a container element as a grid with display grid. All right, so we can match that up. We have to start with a display grid, so we can match that up to here somewhere. Somewhere we're going to find display. So display. Here we go. We have we have lots. We have lots. There's grid. So I'm gonna start applying it to my my code, and I am gonna close all that. I'm in the home page, main. I should. There it is up there. I'll pop this back down here. Excuse me. All right. Card. This should be card now. It used to just be card. In the weak ass JSX comments. I don't like JSX very much, to be honest. I don't know why. Just don't. LI. Here's a card. I found a card. It's in an LI in a UL. So now we want to make the UL a class name equals grid. It's it. Just grid. And that will give us a grid. I should open the DevTools, Control-Shift-I in Firefox, expand it out a bit, use the inspector to target the card. Do some benoodling. Okay, I'm looking for the UL grid. There it is. Is it being applied? There it is. Grid. Display grid. Okay, it's being applied. We like it so far. Let's continue with CSS tricks. To get started, you have to define a container element as a grid with display grid. You got to take a drink of coffee, and then set the column size and row sizes with grid template columns and grid template rows. And then place its child element into the grid with grid column and grid row. What the heck does all that mean? I'll go ahead and make this big again. Huge, in fact. CSS grid properties. I'm just going to skim through. I want to know what we're getting into. And it is quite a bit. And there's no way I'm going to try to cover all that or try to even understand all that. All I really want to do is make a basic grid at the moment. So from the bottom, I tend to do this a lot. From the bottom up. More videos, learning CSS grid. Cool. All right, up to the first heading I find. Let's grid, a shorthand for setting all the following properties in a single declaration. I'm just going to look for something that looks like the kind of grid I want, and we'll go from there. I think a lot of people would try to pretend that they read all this through and understand it and then apply it, and bullshit. I call bullshit. Look at SpaceX, man. They just blow shit up. Container, align content, center, grid container. This looks good, but I just want equal sized, like, yeah, this looks like where we want to start though. We're gonna just copy and paste and tinker. Align content, start. So if we, oh yeah, we're using Tailwind. We're gonna ask Tailwind then. We're gonna look for justify content, which hopefully will put us into, yes, utilities for controlling how flex and grid items are positioned along a container's main axis. So our main axis, I guess, would be the x-axis. Is that a row? I'm going to assume it is. It's good jam. AZ, let's toast. All right. Justify content. We want, what is this? Space evenly. There it is. Justify evenly. So let's copy and paste it into, where does it go? On the container with the grid. And I know you can actually, or I don't know, but I think there is layout tools. Yeah, I've never actually really been able to, or had the use case for all this yet, but now I do. Well, not for, that's just the box model. Overlay grid. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. We have an overlay grid. Justify evenly. Look at that. Freaking cool, man. It's awesome, isn't it? Love you guys, all and girls and theys and all the pronouns and at people. I mean, people at Firefox in this case, but open source in general, I guess. How do we look Rose? So, oh yeah, that's awesome. I don't know if doing this will. No, it doesn't. I don't know if you can see, but when I hover over this in the bottom of the screen, you can't see where I'm pointing. What am I doing? I did try setting this stuff up. Oh, look at, I did it. So this is what I'm talking about. It says row 4, column 1. This is the first time I've zoomed and it's worked, I think. Anyhow, it says we are in. Oh, we can't see what it says there. Whoa, I'm in the wrong window. It still doesn't say. Oh, it's on top. That's why. Row 1, column 1. Now I see it. So row 1, column 1 under new domains. I can't move my mouse over there because that happens. So let's display line numbers. Display area name. We're not using area names. I know that's a thing. You can name your grid parts. Extend lines infinitely. Nah. Oh, I keep clicking in the OBS. I better minimize that. Quit confusing myself. Okay. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all around. Justify evenly. I don't really know what we want to do now. How do you just say like we have to define columns, I guess, because it's all in column 1. I have to keep OBS open. Sorry. This is a good jam too. I'm going to zoom out now before I forget. Full screen. Okay. We're dealing with the columns. If I do this again, what I was trying to illustrate is it says column 1 no matter which thing we're in. Well, obviously it's one column right here. How do we break that up? Grid column start end. Call span 3 maybe? No. Utilities for controlling how elements are sized and placed across grid columns. This is what we want. So it was, I think it was just applying grid calls 3. I didn't specify that or say I wanted 3, but yes, I was looking for 3. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Did it reload? Presumably it did, but I'm going to hit Control R anyway. Okay, where are those tools? The tools. Overlay grid. Call span 3 is that, what is it doing? Rules justify content space evenly displayed grid. Call span 3 is not being applied. Grid column has no effect on this element since it's not a grid item. Right, so I saw something wrong or I just read it wrong. That didn't make sense either. Grid calls 3. What did I do? Call span. Grid calls 3. There we go. There we go. Yeah, this one. You can see it. I was putting my arm going pump, pump. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We have a grid. We have a cool looking grid. That is, it's a little hard to look at with all that brightness and the same image repeated over and over and over and over. Okay. You think you could, and then me. Grid columns 3. I don't know if in the entirety of Tailwind is in there. No. Or if there is even a 4, there must be. I was just testing to see if you can change it there, but you can't. It doesn't add this CSS unless you have the class in the HTML. Or 2. I'm going to keep it 2. And then we're going to use some, I saw some spacing, gapping that we can use. I'm going to skip the song. It's a bit much to listen to and code to. All right, Schoolboy Q. He's nice and gets you pumped. College tunes. Not that I went to college. All right. I wanted to look at it, the grid again, because it's cool. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. Can you see it? Now we have it in 1, 2. And if we change it over here, we have back to 3. 1, 2, 3. I love it. I love it. It's just, I could do that all day, but I won't. We're going to keep it at 2 and move on to the gap. Got 4. Let's try that. Got 4. Enter. Save. Control S. We have a gap. All right, that's better. Pickle freckles on your face. All right. Okay. I think that's about it. I just wanted to make it a little cleaner looking, and we've accomplished that with Tailwind's grid CSS tricks, and it looks a little better. It looks a little more terrible that way. Really have to. I should be using something like browser sync, not gap. Browser sync to do responsiveness, but we're not that fancy. Not browser sync, browser stack. Okay, 3 looks better. I really got to. I think the next step will be to randomize those images or something, but I forgot to go back out, didn't I? Full screen. Yeah, all I was doing was playing with that grid. So, too bad. Thanks for watching.